Welcome everyone. I am Dr. Akash Singh from National University Delhi. In my view, you have already gone through various modules of research methodology. Today, I'm going to discuss a very important topic under research methodology. My topic is it's the data processing. In this module, we will acquaint about various aspects of data processing under the topic which is very much essential to know for a researcher or academician. Under this topic, we will discuss steps to be followed during data processing, learning about various methods of classification, various methods of data processing, that is manual as well as computer based processing. Data processed may only be used for analyzing and comparing different responses received among target audiences. The data processing involves grouping of data in classes through condensation or summarization. The process of converting meaningful information is featured as data processing in a research. It starts with a recording of all data in a single platform with a view to analyze, synthesize, evaluate, and storing of results. Basically, research is a rigorous process involving a number of steps, initially with formulation of problem, statement or hypothetical statement rather. Research involves field studies or case studies over a formulated problem with the help of questionnaire. Observation and collected observation and responses from the target audience are collected as a raw data. Research process is very much based on the correct recording or collecting of data with the help of questionnaire or interview or personal observation. Basically, data collected in its original form have no meaning and cannot be utilized directly to correlate with the objective of the research. Research plan formulated at the beginning of research directly the path of processing of data in various scientific and statistical measures for making it meaningful. There are various steps in data processing. The role of data processing starts with the collection of data. The person involved in data processing must have a sound knowledge of rules and principles of questionnaire preparation for better understanding of raw data. All questionnaire observation sheets must be collected and put at a same platform for collective process. A number of steps are involved in data processing, like editing of raw data. After collecting the all information, we have to follow a number of steps like editing of raw data, recording of raw or edited data, coding of recorded data, sorting of coded data, classification of coded data, and transcriptions of data, tabulations and presentation of data, classification of data, analysis of data. In very first step, it's the editing of data collected. The very first action in data processing is the editing of data collected. Data is collected through various data collection methods. Data collected processing of data collected is to clean up or simplify data, to remove inconsistency and incompetenceness. The process of cleaning data for making it ready for analysis and comparing through cleaning process is called editing of data. Mr. Kumar in his book Elucidated Editing Process emphasizes over rectifying the following questions researchers may forget to consider, like forget to ask question, forget to record a response, wrongly classify a response, write out only half response, or write illegibly. The process of editing flourishes the research process in various ways too. Researcher during editing compares the responses with object of the study. Editing is done to support tabulation of data for comparison, and editing process focuses on discarding of incorrect answers in the questionnaire. Researchers during editing process eliminate doubtful and inconsistent responses for standardization of research work. Editing process also involves changes of responses of questions eligible for another question in the questionnaire. After editing of raw data, it is recorded in a data sheet under the next step of the data processing. And the next step of the data processing is a recording of data. Data stands no meaning without recording in a prescribed form of media. In manual method of recording, editing data is stored or slips or paper schedules with different color of pen or pencil. Sharma in his book elaborated that the slips used for recording of data in manual recording are used as input medium for classifying and sorting of data received. He again indicates that if data is recorded in electronic media, devices like punch card, magnetic tape, floppy diskette or compact disk are used for preserving data. Currently, a digital versatile disk, we call it DVD, are used for storing voluminous data in single disk. Researcher must take utmost care in recording of data for preventing data redundancy. In the next step of the research data processing is the coding of data. Coding of data recorded is a process of converting heterogeneous responses in meaningful categories compatible for evaluation and analysis of data to correlate with research plans. Coding refers to such process where number or symbols are assigned to each and every response, categorizing it in limited categories or classes, focusing on every easy way of analyzing of data. Kumar C. Rajkumar in 2008 classify coding process in two steps. He elaborates. First step is to particularize various categories or classes in which responses are to be classified. In second step, allocation of individual responses into different categories for combined evaluation. In the very next step of the data processing, sorting of data is another step. Sorting of data notes arrangement of data in a required sequence on the basis of designated variables. Sorting is not a vast process but treated important while emphasize arrangement of related and relevant data in a group at a single place. Sorting of data on the basis of one variable based on research plan is done in this step of data processing. The next step is the classification of data. Research is primarily based on survey performed on a large scale of audience. There are large number of audience need to be reduced in homogeneous group for any meaningful analysis which require classification of data. Basically, classification of data is another step of data processing. Generally, classification of data is performed in case of huge volume of data received through questionnaire or a survey sheet. Under it, individual responses are categorized into groups and classed on the basis of certain characteristics. If a questionnaire asks the age of the respondent, the age of a respondent can be classified with age group, that is like 21 to 30 for reducing data redundancy. Class intervals or a group can be used under classification of data. The step in much suitable in case of huge number of responses. The importance of this step is to manage large number of responses in a frequency based comparison. Basically, classification of data rely on features or on quantitative characteristics like gender, age, nationality, capacity and intelligence, etc. The next step after it is the transcription of data. After editing and coding, transcription of data is to be performed. Transcription denotes posting of edited and coding data on an intermediate material from the questionnaire or scheduled in a summarized form. Transcriptions are performed by various methods according to Sarvanalval. Transcription of data is done through list and tally method, card sort method, card count method, strip method, or punch card method. Nowadays, spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel is used for transcription of data. With the help of computer system, transcription of data is required to organize data in a way to initiate tabulation process on the basis of data stored in meaningful sequence at a single platform. Transcription is used to manipulate huge volume of data received through questionnaire or schedule. Tabulation is the process of presenting data in a tabular format for summarizing data for further evaluation and analyzing. Comparative and evaluative analysis is based on tabulation of data through tables. Tabulation may be manual for small research data, or it may be computer based in case of large volume of response data. Tables formulated in the tabulation process perform very important role. A table, there in a number of steps are there in tabulation of data. Table must have a relevant heading title. Table must have been designed with adequate number of columns and rows with clear captions for each column and row. Table must be formulated on the basis of variables of same nature for comparison with unit of measurements. Table must indicate calculation for each column and rows with cumulative tools for reconciling data figure. Tables must be formed on the basis of type of tables. Tabulation process may involve a number of tables, which frequency tables, response tables, unvariated table, bivariated table, statistical table, and time series. So a researcher must be well equipped with all the tables which we can use in a tabulation of a data. There are two type of tabulation. One is the table, one way table or simple table. In one way or simple table, it is known as simple table, one way table, where data is arranged and tabulated in a simple way. In this method, data is arranged in a simple way, like without any frequency. The number what we are receiving, we just mention it like that. In cross tabulation, rather the cross table, where more than two or more variables are involved and required to represent these in a single table for the reason to find comparative and evaluative requirement, cross tables are used. Basically, in cross tables, when more than two variables are used and compared, we have to use cross table. Presentation of data is most important step. The next step is the presentation of data, and the presentation of data is most important step in data processing. Data is required to be present in most undesirable format. Researchers take serious note to target audience while plan to represent data collection for better understanding and easy to reconcile outcome. A number of methods are used in representation of data, like descriptive presentation, graphical presentation, diagram, pictorial, mapping, and tabular presentation. A number of methods are used in representation of data, as I have already mentioned. So we have to make through all the methods, and we should know we have to present our data with the help of all these methods. Classification is a process of staging data into useful and usable means. Till presentation, the data is in presentable format, which still require arranging it in sensible format. Classification converts haphazard, complex, and undesirable form of data. In general, classification is a process putting data collected in classes or series. The main objective of classification of data is to present data in scientific manner. Classification of data is categorized primarily in two categories. It's a classification on the basis of attribute and the classification on the basis of variables. Classification on the basis of attribute, also known as qualitative classification attribute. It is basically on certain attributes, based on certain attributes or characteristic. Data is classified on the basis of attributes, may be simple or manifold. Under simple classification, data having similar characteristics are placed in one group, and the data having different characteristics are placed in another group. For example, a group of visiting a library people may have from different age group, different sex, different subject, or practicing different professions. And the another type of classification data is classification on the basis of variables. Classification is also performed on the basis of variables. Variables through frequency distribution are used to categorize data on the basis of class interval or class limit or discrete series. Classification of data is done on geographical basis too. The data classified on the basis of states, region, or districts based on geographical basis is called spatial classification. And another step in data processing is the analysis of data, which is very important and very useful process. Basically, analysis is the next process under the data processing. However, analysis itself is a next step under research methodology. Basically, it is considered as the next process. Under data process, a connective process is included to correlate data processing with data analysis. Analysis refer to computation of simple, specific, or relevant measures for establishing relationship among various data group. It is include drawing of inference of and relationship for the testing of research problems, testing of hypotheses, and drawing conclusions as per research plan formulated. Data processing also contains a number of methods of data processing. Data processing is performed in two ways. Manual method is used involving involvement of printing questionnaires, data sheets, and research cards. Computer-based process of data is another form of data processing, where data is stored in word processing software in a computer and processed for involving desired results. Manual method is commonly used method for processing of data. Under the process, data is collected through various instruments. These instruments may be data sheets, research card, or register, or any bound booklet designed for recording data. Raw data collected through questionnaire is recorded in these instruments manually. All calculations and logical operations under the methods are performed manually. Nowadays, the method has going to become obsolete due to involvement of computers. However, the method has a number of merits and demerits as compared to computer data processing process. Research has a personal involvement under a manual method. All processes of research includes mathematical and logical operations are performed under the deep observation of the researchers. Manual methods has more chance of error as compared to computer-based processing due to involvement of human element. Manual process is also a time-consuming process. Under computer-based processing of data, data processing has become much easier due to introduction of number of software with the help of computers. Collected data is entered in computerized data sheets with a requisite code. Microsoft Excel is commonly used to process data. On the other side, a number of commercial professional softwares have also been developed by software companies. Computer-based data processing is further classified in two categories, that is offline data processing and online data processing. Software for statistical package for social science, you must be aware about that, is most popular software used by researchers for processing of data offline. The package is installed in a computer terminal and data is processed in the computer offline. A number of online websites also provide online data processing services on a nominal price of researchers. On the other side, in another module, you will find something more about statistical package for social science, and a lecture by me. In online websites, the free online websites, there are number of tools. Google is providing a number of tools. Apart from that, there is a website called free online survey. It's freeonlinesurvey.com. It facilitates data collection, processing and interpretation in a single platform. It provides free survey up to limited questions, and after it charges a very nominal fee according to type of the users. It's a very good database. Basically, if you are doing your research, you will get each and every chart, evaluations and each and everything what the output you need with the help of this website. There are a number of issues in data processing too. Sharma in his book observes a number of issues in data processing. He perceives the first problem as don't know response. Under this problem, during the process of data, it is very challenging to handle the don't know response from the respondents. Don't know response, if in a large number, the credibility of question inquires in questionnaire question mark. A good questionnaire with clear and relative question must be asked from the respondent to avoid don't know response. Basically, if we are getting, a researcher is getting more don't know response, he or she will have to rethink about the questionnaire he or she circulated for collecting the data. Other issues in use of percentage method, other issues is there. Responses are enlisted in the multiple of hundreds for standardize the result. While converting in percentage, a researcher must be more conscious to avoid numerical error. Comparisons of percentiles are much easier but may be vague in many cases. Apart from that, a number of techniques are used in data processing and analysis. In data processing, a number of techniques for mathematical calculation of for data collection is used. Data is presented in table for comparison of variables involved. According to need and requirement, various numerical measures are used for processing the data. Most common methods are arithmetic mean, median, mode, percentile, chi-square method, correlation, regression, variance, standard deviations, cross tabulations and many more. Techniques used in data processing are descriptively elaborated under the head data analysis. In my conclusion, the module emphasizes over various processes involved in data process. The first process is editing of data is a very essential process which reduces ambiguity among research through correction of data at primary stage. It gives as overview on guidelines for researchers for editing of data for enhancing the quality of questions for which appropriate responses have not been received. Other processes like recording of data, coding of data, collection, data collected, sorting of data, classification of data, transcription of data, tabulation, presentation of data, classification and analysis of data, and method of data process have also been discussed. After going through this module, you will get a number of learning outcomes, like you will know and learn about various steps involved in data processing, like editing, coding, recording, tabulating, presenting of data, and another learning object you will get, it's the various issues involved in data processing which may affect the quality of research. And another learning objective would be the about various type of tabulation system in data processing. So students, I hope you will get a good outcome from this module, and I wish you best luck for your examinations. Thank you.